Guys, welcome to another video. This is my Losi Hammer Rey. It's time for some upgrades. This thing can be a handful to drive if you don't install the Vitavon sway bar, which I have installed right here. I'm also going to swap out the servo, the stock servo, for the Reefs 422 HD version 2. Guys, you can't go wrong with Reefs. That's all I got to say about that. So let me get to do some wrenching and I'll be right back. Taking the body off this truck is kind of a pain in the butt. It's not difficult, it's just time consuming. It's a lot of screws. There's 4 screws at the bottom. There's still 2 screws right here at the shock towers. There's 2 screws right here that you have to take off this little rubber cap to get to the screw. And there's also 2 screws right here on the side on each side of the bumper that you have to take off. And you have to disconnect the lights here and at the receiver. I wanted to show you guys the stock servo before I swap it out. So that's that. This servo is pretty slow. It'll work, but it is slow. And for a truck this size, even though this is considered a 110 scale, it's bigger, heavier, so it's underpowered in my opinion, and that's why I'm swapping it out. So guys, why would I limit my servo? I got an external BEC, a Castle BEC, and might as well go all out. 8.4 volts. That's what we're gonna do with this. First of all, guys, I want to say that the Reef servo just looks amazing on this truck, and also speed. This is at 8.4, so that's at its max capacity, so that's the way it should be. I'll be right back, guys, to wrap this up and talk about all the upgrades. So I left the body off to show you guys what I did. First of all, I get an adapter to go from what are those? Let me see. Hang on. Oh, that's not it. IC5, right? To what I normally use, which is Dean's, is over here. I ordered. There's an adapter that you can swap out to have that the Dean's plug instead of the what did I say it was, IC5 or something. So that's one thing. Let me turn this thing around. Sorry guys about shaking the camera. Hang on. Another thing, of course, the servo. With the servo, I had to put it a external BEC, external Castle BEC right here, 10 amp. I set it up for 8.4 volts, which is the max voltage that this servo can handle. And to me, it's like it's all or nothing. So I wanted to put it at its best. 8.4, this servo is going to perform at its best, the strongest, the fastest, and that's what I want. Now, I went online and looked at the specs for the ESC and the motor. So we got a 4S ESC with a 3S motor, which that doesn't make sense to me. So eventually this motor is going to have to be swapped out to a 4S motor. There's plenty of 4S motors out there, whether it's Spectrum, Castle, you name it. They're all out there, so that's not going to be a problem. I can't do it right now, but it's also going to cost some money. So right now, yeah, one thing at a time, right? The Vitavon sway bar, I don't have the body on to attach it, but the Vitavon sway bar, it's a must. This thing being, I'm gonna call it a basher. Most of my bashers, if not all of them, I think, well, all of them really, they're all independent suspension in the front and the rear with the A-arms and everything. This is the first one I have with a solid axle on the rear, and it's the torque twist is kind of a pain in the butt. So this sway bar is a must. Now, this truck has AVC, which is automatic vehicle control, which is trying to have the front tires to counter the the steering, to make it go straight. Now the problem is when you hit the throttle and you lift the front tires, the AVC doesn't mean anything because you don't have any traction on them. So I always turn it off because it's kind of annoying. Sometimes you see the wheels just going crazy, and I don't like that. That's just me. But now that I got the sway bar, hopefully that'll take care of that. I haven't run it yet, guys, so I cannot give you a... Well, I did run it in the front of the house a little bit for like 5 minutes because my battery died, but it was definitely an improvement than what it was before. And let me show you that just real quick. Hang on. So as you guys notice, this truck wants to pull to the left. And once again, it gets kind of annoying sometimes. It's a handful to drive. But at the same time, the way it looks when it jumps, the suspension, everything, it's amazing. I love this truck. There's always room for improvements, so that's what I'm doing right here. Now, here's another thing. If you guys want to see somebody really putting this truck and upgrading everything the way it should be, I'm just trying to keep up, you know, and it's playing in the background. Exocaged RC, guys, I'll have a link to his video in the description below so you guys can check that out. He's got more upgrades than I do, and they all make a difference, and he will explain it better than I can. So there you go, guys. Yeah, that's all I got for right now. I will eventually upgrade the motor. Servo is perfect. So, and we'll go from there. See what happens. Guys, as always, do something good for someone else every day if you get a chance. And have a good day.